Hello and welcome to this program on EFT for first aid. Why EFT for first aid? Well, when we have any kind of immediate shock to our systems, if we cut ourselves with a knife while chopping vegetables, for example, if we get a bee sting or a wasp sting or an ant bite, if we have any kind of a mishap, then what happens is our bodies go into a state of stress, a state of fight or flight, and that stress has an important effect on our healing. It delays our healing. As long as we're in stress mode, we have less physical resources available for being in healing mode. And so it's like a continuum. Our bodies are either in healing mode, in stress mode, or somewhere in between. The idea of an EFT for first aid program came to us from you, the people who know, use, and love EFT. We have literally hundreds of stories on EFT Universe of people using EFT for pain, using EFT for all kinds of emergency or first aid applications like insect bites, animal bites, bumps, bruises, cuts, and so on. And we thought we would compile the best of these stories and also figure out what common elements there are to these stories that can help you as you need EFT for first aid. One example that I experienced personally was a few summers ago. I was working on roses in my garden, and I have this beautiful rose bush that grows up against a trellis on the side of a cottage on my property. And I was working on tying the roses to the trellis. But the trellis was old and rusty and falling apart. And at one point, a part of it snapped, and one of the nails in the trellis went into my finger and almost all the way through. So it began bleeding profusely. It was a rusty nail. There was a danger of infection. And I began to tap. Immediately, the bleeding stopped, the pain went away, and it healed up within an hour or two. Another time, I burned myself. I was shutting off a generator and happened to touch a cylinder of the generator and had a big, big bruise on my arm, big burn. And one of my kids tapped on me, and within an hour, the whole burn had gone away. On the website, you'll find stories like one of a lady who used it with an insect bite. One of her kids had an insect bite and had a big swelling, and the bite just went down immediately. Another story from a doctor is of him giving an old man in his 90s an injection, and the injection site swelled up badly. This man had a bad allergic reaction from the injection. The doctor tapped with him, and the swelling just went away in a few minutes. So you'll find many, many stories like this of pain, of injury, of emergency situations being addressed with EFT. I remember one instance when I was working with someone at a workshop. I had this man come forward and he had severe pain from an auto accident. He'd been in an accident 2 weeks before. He was on crutches and he'd broken his right femur, the bone at the top of your leg. And I thought, I can tell this guy's in a lot of pain. He says his pain was an 8 out of 10, really high level of pain. And I thought to myself, even as I was offering to work on him, I thought, EFT can't possibly help this guy. It's just physical pain from this bad leg break. And is on crutches and is feeling all the suffering. How can EFT possibly help? Well, it turned out that EFT could help a whole lot because the pain wasn't all about physical pain. He also had emotional pain. He'd broken his leg while driving in the car to a place he didn't want to go to with his wife, who wanted to go there. So his wife made him do it. He had all this self-talk about, why do I always do things I don't want to do? Why am I always helping other people and not helping myself? He had all this self-criticism around, why am I such a klutz? He had all this anger toward the insurance company, toward the other driver, toward the people in the hospital. And all of those things were really adding to his physical pain. So he tapped on all of those resentments, all of that pattern toward his wife, and his pain went way down to a 2. So it turned out that out of that 8 out of 10 pain, 6 points were emotional, only 2 points were physical, and he left the demonstration after a few minutes with his pain at a 2 rather than an 8. So wouldn't you like to have that kind of healing tool at your disposal after your next mishap? That's what this program will help you do. We have tapping scripts to help you through common problems. We have audio and video components to this program. We have many stories from people who've used EFT to show you what EFT can do for you. So when you next have a problem, if you need EFT for first aid, you have it right at your fingertips, and this whole range of resources is yours. So rather than suffering or taking you days or weeks or months to heal, you can heal quickly and relieve the stress, the emotional component of your physical problems. So go ahead and learn this, learn the basic routine, learn how to approach EFT for first aid. So when the time comes you need it, you will have this indispensable healing tool at your fingertips.